One of the questions I threw out at the beginning was tech. Are these tools or are these toys? And it's great, you know, playing around with headsets and all this stuff. But is it really make a difference? Our speaker is one of the great young talents in FM today, known for championing diversity and inclusion, a former chair of Women in FM. She's responsible for the life cycle of Mitie's connected workspace technology. So please, a warm welcome for Strategic Technology Director of Mitie, Simi Gandhi-Whitaker.
Good morning, all. It is wonderful to be here today. It's brilliant to be in such great company, and thank you to David and the WPF team for having me here. This is my first gig, so be kind. Also, a big shout out to all of you online. I'm sure you're multitasking now with your multiple bits of tech. You know, is it one screen, two screens, three screens, on a Teams call, you know, writing a WhatsApp message, sending a text message, trying to pee, make a cup of tea? Just go to the loo, okay? Just go to the toilet. It's fine. So my role at Mitie is to collaborate with our customers and understand what they need from their workplace. We work with them to try and find credible solutions and technology solutions that they get a holistic, connected experience with. So for me, it's about well-being and well-building solutions. Simone's title later, It's All About People, which I love, by the way, and look forward to listening to, has hit the nail on the head. To get the best out of technology, it is really important to understand what people want and what people need. So nothing that any of the speakers are saying here is really untrue. I'll come back to the 3 C's of collaboration, connectivity, and credibility at the end, but let's not put in tech just for tech's sakes. Speaking of themes, so my talk today is going to be about sharing some insights and some solid examples of how we feel that we've been using technology in Mitie, not only in our own workspace to show our employees that we really care, but also, more importantly, how we're working with our customers and how we're trying to implement quick win solutions, tech tools to achieve hopefully some big outcomes for them. But before that, and just out of curiosity, can you help me out with a little experiment, please? I'm just going to do a quick survey of the room. Phones and smartphones have been a theme here, so can I please ask a favour? Will you all just stand up for a moment? Thank you. So I'm going to ask you a few questions, just four questions, and if the answer's no, then please can you sit down. So how many in the audience have more than one smartphone? Said example here. Personal, business use. If the answer's yes, stay stood up, and if the answer's no, take a seat. Interesting. Very good, a lot more than I thought. So how many have at least one of those phones on the latest? So, for example, iPhone 14, Androids, other things exist. I'm an iPhone girl. How many of you have the latest one? If it's no, sit down. If it's yes, stay up. Very good, excellent. Some people get paid more than others. But anyway. How many of you regularly check to see if you've got the latest software, the latest updates on your phones? Oh, no. Okay, and how many of you use your smartphones to play a game? Congratulations to all of you stood up there. Sorry, there's no prize, but David's going to buy you drinks later. There is a point. So look, you all know, those of you that remain standing up, not to be biased to the others, but you know how important it is to use technology to not only enhance your user experience, but also you recognize that it dates really quickly. So you need to keep moving forward with that technology. So we need to have the latest updates, we need the latest features, we need to make them function properly, otherwise they'll easily become redundant. I've learned this a lot in my role recently. I lead the products and the operations team. They're here today, and they've taught me a lot about the intricacies of having the latest technologies, but what sits behind it. Function, not just form. So this has been crucial to the growth and scalability for some of the products that we've been, I wouldn't say developing, I'd say evolving over the last 12 to 18 months. My box, hang on. Let me just sort my box out. There we go, I'm back. So why, I ask ourselves, why aren't we applying this ethos to our sector at the breakneck speed that others are? We all know that implementing technology requires investment and time. And both commodities that we as businesses don't always have, and especially, not today. But there is a more exciting opportunity for us. It's not just facilities management to me, it's facilities transformation. So use the technology that we've got. I feel that for us all here today, it's our duty to collectively introduce tech-led solutions and be at the forefront of our sector. And this is a great example of how we can collaborate and work together. So, questions. We just ask 3 simple questions. It's a context of just some basic insights. I wouldn't, they're not rocket science to me, but the way that I do this is work with customers and I keep it really simple with them. Question 1, what problem are we trying to solve? And like I said, it sounds really basic, but the number of times that I've met with customers who hadn't considered using any technology because it seemed really overwhelming, or the infosec and the data issues around it seemed too much, it's too expensive, and they simply couldn't see the value. It was on the bottom of the to-do list. But as you start to talk through some of the main pain points, for example, having large disparate estates and some sites in really rural locations like the Out of Hebrides or wherever, the conversations about remote asset monitoring become really easy and they just flow. So let's use another common example. As you can see at the top, it's a lovely, nice, shiny, dated 80s office. One that I've never seen, obviously, because I'm so young. But we needed someone smoking, didn't we, in that picture? But the one below is similar to the kind of environments and what we kind of want. But another common question that we're all asking ourselves, but particularly as C-suite customers, is when you think about your employees, I guess that common question is my office worth the commute? Personally, I've always worked from home. It's always been a thing in my career. However, it was hidden, or should I say a forbidden word. Now, it's just out there, right? But I would be absolutely gutted if I didn't have a choice or an office or a space to come to any longer, just because agile, hybrid working, hotelification, that's the new one, isn't the vibe that is accepted. I wouldn't do it, and I wouldn't work for an organization that wouldn't accept that. We know that people are simply not going to come into an office and incur costs or commute or pay childcare just to answer emails and sit on conference calls. By the way, when you came back to the office, wasn't it really noisy when someone was sat next to you on a Teams call? It's like grating in the ear. But anyway, you get used to it, don't you, after a while? Find a privacy space. That's what you need in your workspace. But the recent CBI survey cited access to labour and skills as a key threat to almost 75% of businesses. So we have to come to the point where outdated workplaces are a real threat to us and our own businesses. And yet, further research we can look at is pointing us out in the same direction. We know that 40% of global CO2 emissions come from buildings. 75% of the world's populations work in buildings. So as FMs, we have 100% opportunity to use this exciting convergence between workplaces and technology. Using our own workplace tools, we try to be data-led. So try and find solutions by understanding the personas and the people. So it's about their work experience, and it's not just about the spaces, but is it the physical attributes, whether it's the temperature, the humidity, the air cleanliness, the lighting, but do colleagues actually feel supported when they're there in that space? So especially from a diversity point of view, both physically and neurologically. For us, this tackles some really key, important, high agenda topics. How do we ensure that we improve the experience of our colleagues as well as those of our customers? How do we use data or data-led solutions so it's completely frictionless? And that is really important. The phone is key to all of us, as you said, Peter. And how do we ensure that we put decarbonisation at the forefront of everything that we do? So the pace of change needs to accelerate. We all know that, especially in our sector. For example, to hit the UK's net zero goals, just focusing on that, by 2050, 4% of buildings need to be upgraded every year. Currently, we're achieving around 1%. Navigating the complexity of decarbonisation is not something to be done alone. I don't know about you, but I speak to customers and there's just no cross-client, customer, department conversations. Often you have the property team or the workplace team over here, you have the sustainability and the energy team over here, you have someone over there with the OPEX and CAPEX budgets. So how do we get them to work together? Again, is that within our gift as FMs? Finding a way to navigate through all of that is a minefield, and I certainly don't have the answers. So if any of you do, find me in the breaks at lunchtime. I'd be very happy to find an answer. The next question then you ask yourself is, do you have the right technology and the data to optimize these workspaces? So our most effective customers think of their buildings holistically. They're constantly evolving. They're constantly thinking, about the people as well as the organisation, and they take a science-led approach. So data and analytics, as we've all said here today, is key. But it also helps them guide the property strategy, so they're doing it right at the start. Many of our clients are reducing the overall size of their estate and they're modernising their remaining buildings. One in particular, we talked about sensors, so we work really closely with a lot of our customers on utilisation occupancy sensors. And one particular, in the last 12 months, has reduced their estate by around 25%. And that's just in the last 12 months alone. We had another one that reduced their number of floors from 6 to 5, saved themselves £1 million a year. Really high demand real estate. It's that mantra of half of the space, double the experience. So whether it's workplace apps like we've got, Aria, and we've all got, to give users that seamless experience that we've been talking about and using AI technology to make it completely frictionless, or whether it's using MI and data to give real time, and that is key, real time, as everyone said. They don't want yesterday's news. They want to know right now what's happening. But that is truly what's driving cost savings and cost efficiencies. Or whether it's just as simple as using a BMS system, a building management system, and taking some 5-edge technology, nothing too expensive, nothing unknown of, and connecting it to an OT platform so that you can find data on everything in that building, from sensors to EV charging points to bacteria-killing UV units. We're giving it all a go. Sorry, it's not a simple BMS. To all the engineers out there, I really apologise. I've heard it's the heart of a building. So look, better still, let's take that toy, let's take that gaming device and stick it on a multi-skilled engineer's headset or an apprentice's headset, and let's put it on a site, let's put it on a campus and see what value we can create as FMs whilst also having a little fun with it. Again, we've been giving all of these a go, And I'm really lucky that I work for a business that sees the value in technology. And yes, I am part of one of those corporates, Graham Perry, my friend Graham. I get it, but I work for a business that is bringing technology to our industry, and therefore our customers, and I have seen the benefit of being able to invest in some of these toys to make them into real tangible tools. As a result, we've been providing outcomes like saving over 16% energy, for some of our clients by reducing their maintenance cost, a project called Connected Branches, just by connecting 101 BMS systems, or, for one of our clients. It's around, 10,000 critical assets, fixing over 70% alarms remotely. This kind of stuff is there. We know it's not new technology. It's making it work. So my final question is, and I ask is this tech still a tool or is it an outdated toy? In order to do that, we need to revisit that first question again. Really truly understand what the problem is that you're trying to solve. As we continue to test and learn, as I start, it's so important to keep refining that product and ensure that you've got the stack and the solutions that marry up to the outcomes. What is it that we're trying to achieve, not just as an FM sector, but also to support those customers that aren't in our world? I know that there was a time that we didn't do this at Mitie, and we were behind the curve. And we really quickly realized that as a sector, to make a difference, we have to have a seat at the table. And by doing that, we need a shift in thinking and create those tech-led solutions. Do you really want to be yesterday's Nintendo Switch when you can be tomorrow's ChatGPT? By the way, I'm the first person to say that today, aren't I? ChatGPT. So, although Lucy, I did read your point on ChatGPT on LinkedIn. It's very funny. So look, in summary, we all know that tech is the future, and we know that it's going to further shape our lives like never before. Our kids, our grandbabies, they're all going to be flying to school soon. Anwar, there's your next project. Transforming places and services, it's investment to renew the portfolio holistically. Look at it, from a holistic lens. But the key thing is, let's not forget about the people. Let's understand the demographics. How did they wish to use the workspaces? Because no space is obviously, as we know, the same. Let's collaborate. And let's work with partners that can help us develop these solutions that are right for you. No blanket approach. Connectivity to create well-building and well-being solutions. So let's use those tools that are already out there, but be the intelligence. If we've got partners that are able to help us scale and learn from things, then let's do that. Learn from other sectors and bring them back into our own. Let's be credible, honesty with customers. How many of us spend time and say, actually, what is your technology roadmap? What do you want? I don't want to be reactive to you anymore. Let's proactively listen, learn, and see what the future of your business is. If it was really that easy, wouldn't we all be like Tom Cruise in Minority Report? So let's go. Let's get the balance right. So it's technology, but it's human intelligence versus artificial intelligence. Thank you.